Hello, fellow voiceover stars. It's Bailey Varnes, your voiceover mentor and friend. So, in this video, we're going to talk about all of the equipment and software you're going to need to become a professional commercial voiceover talent. So, there are a few main things you're going to need. And I want to say straight off the bat that this is one of the least expensive businesses you can go into. You know that you need equipment to start any business. Starting something as basic as a restaurant can cost millions. And you have to get a major business loan to be able to just get started. But with voiceover, you're just going to need a few pieces. There's no way around it. There's no way to just start any business completely for free. But I'm going to show you the absolute least expensive way to get started, but still maintain a level of professionalism that will be expected of you. Because this is your career, and you have to give quality work. A big problem on Fiverr is that a lot of people are just recording using the microphones built into their laptops because they've been told by Apple or whatever that the microphone is really good. And frankly, the microphone is really good if you're just going to use it to be on a Zoom call or something like that. But when it comes to a professional level of recording, that needs to go into client videos or on the radio or television. That microphone's not going to cut it. And trust me, I have the best one. I have the best built-in Mac microphone out there right now, and it's definitely not good enough. So I would never use it for a voiceover project. So that being said, again, you're going to need some equipment. So let's talk about the most important thing that a lot of people don't realize about having really good quality sound, which is essential for your professional recordings. So it is way, way, way more important that your recording space be a good quality rather than your microphone itself. Now, you do need a good microphone. Again, you can't just use the one on your computer, but the quality of your recording is going to be completely dictated by the space that you're in rather than just the microphone that you're using. Do not forget that. Don't think you can just record in any old place because you've got a, $1,000 mic, then think it's going to be great. No, because if the sound is bouncing off the walls, it doesn't matter how great your microphone is. The sound is going to hit the mic in all kinds of crazy directions and sound terrible. If you decided to record in your bathroom, your sound is bouncing off all of the tiles, and I don't care if your microphone's $5,000. It's going to sound like crap because you're just not in a space that's conducive to recording. So, with that being said, let's talk about what your space needs to be, especially if you're first getting started. So in the past, in the early days of people actually having recording studios built in their homes, having that professional home studio cost tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it was super duper expensive to have to build your own home studio and get professional quality back in the day. But now things are really exciting because your home studio space itself, you could actually start this part completely for free. So this is one of those really, really cool things with new technology that's going to really work well for you. How's that possible? Well, first, what you need to understand is that a good recording space has two elements. And those two elements are sound deadening and sound proofing. And those are two different things. So let me explain the difference. So most people know about sound proofing, which essentially means you walk into a room and no outside noise can get in. And it's almost impossible to achieve soundproofing at 100%, even with professional booths like mine. And you do need as much soundproofing as possible for your space. But the most important element for sound quality is actually sound deadening. So sound deadening is how you keep your voice from reverberating off hard surfaces, so it doesn't bounce back and make your recording unclean. So the best way to achieve that is to surround yourself with as many soft and uneven surfaces as possible. And one of the greatest places to find a lot of soft, uneven surfaces is in a closet. And if you don't happen to have a walk-in closet, which many of us don't, just opening up a regular closet and sitting in front of all the clothes and surrounding yourself by them as much as possible as you work should do the trick. The key to sound deadening is just trying to enclose yourself with as many soft, uneven surfaces as you can, and that will keep the sound from bouncing off the hard surfaces and then accidentally getting the microphone to pick up your voice twice and sounding really bad. So, if your space is dead for sound to be able to bounce and reverberate, your microphone is just going to hear your voice once in the right direction. It's going to be captured nice and clean and do a really good job. Now, the best sound deadening cheap material of all the materials, believe it or not, is moving blankets. So if you don't have a closet space that will work for you, you could just buy yourself some moving blankets and surround yourself with them. They are an absolutely great way to create a sound deadening space for yourself. I know people who have created a space with some PVC pipe and created just a little box and then made 4 walls with their moving blankets and then threw one on the top as a ceiling and put one on the bottom underneath it as a moving blanket carpet for themselves. And that created an amazing sound deadening space. So that's the kind of thing you need to create for yourself if a closet just won't work. Moving blankets really are the highest quality of sound deadening material that you can buy before you actually get into the realm of what I'm sitting in, where you actually purchase a professional recording booth for yourself at home. So let's talk about a couple of the professional recording booths that there are out there. Now, obviously, I don't recommend that you get these right away if you're still testing the waters, seeing if this is maybe something you want to do, because they are rather expensive. I think what I'm sitting in right now is the cheapest version of a professional home studio booth that you can get, and it's called a Whisper Room. And Whisper Room is also the name of the company. And this is the smallest one that they have, and I believe it cost me about $3,500. So again, if you're just starting out, it's going to take you a while to break even with little Fiverr jobs. So this is maybe something you want to keep in mind for down the road when you see that things are taking off and you're like, wow, I really should have a professional booth. Because as you move up and up, people are going to expect a higher quality of work. But right at the beginning, you should be fine. And just for the record, my excellent professional space is only 50% soundproof, but it's 100% sound deadening. So just wanted to let you know about that. And I think all professional home recording booths only go up to about 75% soundproofing. So just remember that the deadening is the key. Another company that makes great professional booths is Studio Bricks. That's what a lot of people like to use. And then there's also Vocal Booth. They make a really good quality product. But again, all of these are going to cost you a few thousand, if not tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how thick you get the walls and how big of a booth you get. So big range of prices. So I'm not recommending this for right away, but definitely something you want to keep in the back of your mind as you start to see your business grow. And you're actually going to start doing virtual sessions with professionals who are going to talk to you like on video, like on Zoom or something like that. You want them to see that you're in a room, in a booth, and not just, sitting in your closet. But food for thought for later. Right now, set yourself up in a nice, soft space closet or moving blanket area. So, now that you have a great space to work, let's talk about your microphone. This can make or break you as far as whether you sound like you know what you're doing and are truly a professional. And you're going to see a lot of voiceover pros who have mics that cost over $1,000. But it's honestly not necessary for you to have starting out or ever, really. There is an amazing, inexpensive mic that you can get that sounds incredible and is only about $160, I think, as I'm recording this video. And it's from Audio-Technica, and it's called the AT2020 USB Plus. Now, I don't work for them. I don't get kickbacks from them, as some annoying trolls have suggested. This is just the best professional sounding mic that I have found that you can get for the money. And the reason is that it has a better A to D converter in it than most other USB mics, and therefore sounds like you're using an XLR connection with a good interface. So, what I just said was a lot of tech talk to explain why it's the mic that I've found to be the most professional sounding for the lowest price. And in fact, it's what I'm using right now. And I have recorded national commercials with it. So you can see why I recommend it. But at the end of the day, you can use what you want. It's just what I would recommend because it will take you very far in your voiceover career. So, since it's a USB microphone, it literally plugs right into the USB port on your computer, and you're good to go. No interfaces needed. It's crazy easy to use and a perfect first microphone. Now, the AT2020 USB Plus comes with a small, wobbly stand that's not so great, so I do recommend that you do get a better microphone desk stand or a microphone arm for easier usage while you're recording. Stands are pretty cheap. I think you can get one for about $13. Now, an arm can be a lot more expensive, so you may want to work your way up to one, but they do give you more flexibility while you're positioning yourself to record. Whatever you choose, you should combine it with a shock mount so that any little movement you naturally do while recording isn't picked up. And a shock mount will run you about $22 or so. But a good stand and a shock mount will make your recording experience immeasurably better and more convenient. So you're also going to need a pair of headphones to listen to yourself as you record. Now, unfortunately, you do need headphones that have a cord and can't be wireless. There isn't a Bluetooth connection with microphones yet. So you need something that you can plug into the headphone jack on your mic, or interface if you went rogue and ignored my microphone suggestion. But know that any old headphones will do. Earbuds work great. Over-the-ear cans are what I prefer, but it's totally up to you. And then you're going to need a pop filter for your microphone. Now, if you don't know, a pop filter is something that goes in front of the mic to keep certain sounds known as plosives from sounding too intense on your recording. Particularly the letter P sound can be too harsh when you're using a professional mic that picks up every little detail of sounds you make. Now, they sell a lot of different pop filters, but I have never found any pop filter to work better than a plain old ordinary sock. Totally weird. I know, but it allows you to get the most comfortable distance from the mic for an intimate read and still be able to keep your plosives to a minimum. I just put a simple Hanes sock right over my microphone and it works great. If you want to go with the traditional nylon circle that you often see in studios, that's fine too, but I really think the sock works better. Looks a little strange, but I've never had a producer or director ask me about it or question it. They're getting exactly what they need, and it doesn't matter how dorky I look. So, get a pop filter so that you're not getting too much wind noise in your recordings from your mouth. Okay, so now let's talk about your computer. So there are some requirements for whatever computer you choose to get clean audio in your recordings. But some good news is that it doesn't matter what operating system you choose. This works equally well if you prefer to use a Mac or a PC. But it is essential that the computer must have a USB port that you can plug your microphone into directly. You can't use a USB hub because it can water down the recording. The USB microphone connection must go directly into your computer. So if you're like me and have a newer Mac, you're already yelling at me, "But Bailey, I cannot just connect a traditional USB cable into my new MacBook. I have to use a hub for everything." I get it. But trust me when I say that you're going to get much cleaner audio by plugging your mic directly into the computer. So what's the workaround? What I've done and what I recommend is that you buy a new cable or cord for your microphone. So the cable that comes with the microphone is a USB-B connection. That's the part that plugs directly into the microphone, to USB-A. That's the part that plugs into the computer. That's the traditional cord that comes with the mic. So I recommend that you buy a new cable that's a USB-B to USB-C. That's the only connection now directly into the Macs. If you're on a PC, you may not have this problem. You can just use the cord that comes with the mic. But if you can't connect directly, I highly suggest that you get a new one so that your sound is pure and not corroded in any way. So the other essential thing for your computer is that it needs to not have any fan noise. This will create white noise in the background of your recordings, and they can get rejected. But there are ways around this. Yay! If you're working a desktop with a fan where you can hear it in any way, you can get longer cords and place the tower just outside the room you're recording in so that your sound is cleaner. Obviously, just getting new cords is, much cheaper than buying a whole new computer. Now, it's harder with laptops because they have to be in the room with you. So if you have one with a constantly whirring fan, you may have to get a new one for this to work for you. Now, I'm using the newest MacBook Air because with the new M1 technology inside, there's no fan. So it's perfect for voiceover work. But there are a lot of cheaper options if you do need to break down and get a new computer. So do some research and keep in mind a USB direct port if possible, and definitely no fan noise. So there is one last thing you're going to need for your studio, and that's what is referred to as a DAW, D-A-W. It stands for Digital Audio Workspace, and it's where you record and edit your tracks. So the DAW software that I suggest that you start with is called Audacity. And the best thing about Audacity is that it does almost everything you'll need for any voiceover editing, and it's completely free. So it's incredible that you can have a free software that will create professional audio tracks for you so that your voiceover business is truly legit. So you can download the latest version of Audacity at audacityteam.org, and I'll show you how to use it in a subsequent video. So that's pretty much all you're going to need to set up your professional home recording studio. And for most people, you really can't beat the price. So get your studio together, and in the next video, we're going to talk about what makes a great commercial voiceover performance, how to actually perform and act well at these jobs, and how you can produce your own self-made voiceover demo. And if you're interested at any time learning about even more advanced software you can use to take you to the next level of your career, check out my website, voiceworkacademy.com. I go through another DAW called Adobe Audition that has even more features that make your work fast, easy, and sound incredible. Audacity is great, but Adobe Audition is what a lot of performers who make 6+ figures use for major projects. So check out voiceworkacademy.com when you get a chance, and I'll see you in the next one.